Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner? Well, Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2021. Thank you, Jesus. You couldn't get here fast enough for me. So I hope everyone had a safe holiday season and made it as joyful as you possibly could under the circumstances, but we know how to, what's the saying my husband says, adapt and overcome. We know how to do that. So I'm just saying that I'm glad to be back on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And tonight we have a very special guest now. This is a guest that you might see everywhere when there's something going on. You're going to see this gentleman with his beret on the side of his head and his camera around his neck, documenting what's going on in our city. I will present to some and introduce to others. None other than Mr. Eddie Davis. What's up, my brother?
All power to the people.
All right.
New
right
year.
on.
We're in a new year. We got a new president.
Oh, isn't that
We
wonderful?
got Biden, Harris. We got the AKAs going to the White House.
Hush.
I'm enjoying every minute of it. Every minute of it. And then we got a new political boss in Atlanta, Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
Shaking them up.
All that. She shake them up, Stacey. Huh? Instead of shake them up, baby, shake them up, Stacey. But tomorrow, the next couple of days are going to be some rough going, but we just have to have faith that everything's going to work out to our advantage. Tomorrow they've got to vote down in Georgia. And then on Thursday, we got this madness in Congress. It's madness. What do you think?
Every generation went through something.
Yeah.
The older generation went through the dogs, the fire hoses, the beatings. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the life of John Lewis, I mean, I've been following, since I'm indoors a lot, I've been following PBS and KET and following, a lot of history programs. I mean, if you look what John Lewis went through in his lifetime, now young people have an opportunity to participate in the process and, get their chops,
Yeah.
Hey, the kids came from out of town to get locked up in Louisville.
Isn't that something?
It was like they were out there earning their stripes.
Look, moved here. Didn't the little Miss Tamika Mallory, didn't she moved here? She brought her group and they actually moved to Louisville for a few months, right?
They camped out. Of course, we all camped out at Injustice Square.
Injustice Square. Wow, that's deep. And
that's
so
what we nicknamed
we're still working on justice. Huh? That's what it's called.
Justice is coming from Injustice Square.
Okay.
I mean, we fired the old police chief. We got the first Black female police chief. We got Breonna's Law. And today I was at the swearing in of Corey Arthur, who's taken Barbara Sexton Smith's place. I mean, an up and coming young man. I mean, I'm impressed. I am really impressed.
I'm looking to talk to him this week if I can. I'm trying to get him on the show.
A great brother.
He's got.
I'm really,
got a lot of
I'm optimistic about everything. Especially the young people that now they see, they see their destiny in the movement.
Right. And it is their task. It is their task that has been presented before them. Like this is the work that you have to do. Okay, I lost your sound again. Okay, hey.
Okay, are we okay now?
Yeah, I got you back. All right.
Okay.
Now what were you saying?
Ever since Breonna Taylor, there's been a major political shift in the city.
Okay.
There's been new political alliances.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm really optimistic about the future. I mean, I see a whole new, social connection taking place, especially amongst young white liberals and the black social progressives.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we haven't seen that type of alliance in this city like we're seeing it now in the
Have we
history of the
ever seen
city.
that in this city? Have we ever had that kind of alliance in this city?
Not like we're seeing it now.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, and you consider we got a pandemic, we got to deal with Donald Trump, we got to deal with the rise of white supremacy, racism, and then we got to deal with metro government, the police department, you know, and on and on. I mean, young people, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a job before 'em. So tell me now, I wanted to have this conversation with you uh, through the lens of your camera. If your camera could talk, what would your camera be saying in the photos that you've been taking out on the front lines with these kids?
I've been trying to show uh, kind of like the social mix, the social blending, and how the
Okay.
young people are forging new alliances.
Okay.
Um, it's almost like kind of like a mini Woodstock or
Okay.
but it's a political movement, and because of Breonna Taylor's age and her, you know, and who she was, it really motivated young people to become more involved in metro government and the affairs that are taking place around them that involves taxpayer money. I
Right.
mean, it is taxpayers' money that's running the whole system. And
Right.
as
So we
taxpayers,
should have
we have a right to know how our money is being spent.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we have a voice in this. You know, it's like everybody has a role to play because it's on our dime.
Exactly. And it's just good management. The taxpayers need to know how their money is being managed and how it's being spent.
Right. Right.
I mean, even if
So
they delegate it to a subcontractor or a union, we still need to
mhm,
know. We still need
right.
to have open records.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when do you think the new chief is going to be announced?
I really don't know. I'm really I'm really happy with Chief Gentry. I wish
Yeah.
she could stay longer.
I wish you could stay.
In fact,
Period.
I wish Chief Gentry was in Conrad's place instead of Conrad. If Chief Gentry had been the chief of police instead of Conrad, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. It's
Right.
about management. I think she's an excellent manager.
Well,
I mean, what I've seen
she's making
so
things
far, I've been
happen.
impressed.
Yeah. Well, I would love for her to stay, but I understand she
Yeah, I
only
mean, I know it's not going to happen, but I'd like to see Chief Robert White. I'd like to see him come back to Louisville.
Oh,
Probably is
okay.
not going to happen, but I'm sure there's some talent out there. We just need to take our time and find the right person.
Okay. So I know some other people have at one point in time held kind of interim positions. Um, and I know Metro Councilman James was a police officer. I don't
He's
know
got a
how
lot of
his
potential. I wouldn't have a problem. I would support uh, council Councilman James.
mhm.
What's rare about Councilman James is he has the talent and skill not only to run the police department, he could run the mayor's office.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he
Okay. I
really.
hear you.
I mean, the guy. He is that good. He is young, gifted, and black.
Oh, you're killing me. That's
Yeah,
right.
but Louisville's got hidden talent, and they're
Always
not
have had it.
utilizing the black talent that's in Louisville.
Yes. But we've always been that kind of city. And we've expanded on it. We can see some of the people that came up from where they came up from. You know, we look at uh, those that were actually. I think about Sherry for the time that she put in as a Metro Councilwoman. She did wonderful things. You know, she moved and she was kind of quiet in her movement, but she got things done.
And she made a difference in her community.
Absolutely,
And she made
absolutely.
even more difference when we had the old Board of Aldermen. Because
Ah,
black people had more political power under the old Board of Aldermen than we do now.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't here when I mean I knew all about that, but I wasn't living here at that time. But I was looking forward to um where you go now. You gotta hold your phone still, cause so I can see you.
I'm holding it, but hold on, let me get some help.
I'm gonna take him out of the picture for a minute till he gets straight. But we're having this conversation, you know, as we deal with a few technical difficulties at the moment. But we're having this conversation with um, our uh, regional cameraman, Mr. Photographer, Mr. Eddie Davis, who is out on the front lines and has been around seeing what's going on with you ready?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, pull it down so I can see your whole face. There you go. There you go. That's
Okay.
where I need you, right there. All right.
Okay. I can't see
So,
myself. I mean, my phone's malfunctioning, but I'm still here.
okay. Well, I see you quite well.
Oh,
So you just
okay.
you just
Cool.
hold there, and I'll let you know when you go
Gotcha.
off kilter. So, one of the other things I want to see, what do you see as the future of Louisville? Where are we?
Well, I'll make a
Okay,
long story
I'm gonna I'm
short.
gonna start I'm gonna start this all over because I'm gonna edit this because I'm gonna
That's
have
okay.
to do.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
I've always been an advocate, and I was one of the original advocates for incorporating the city of West Louisville when I was actively involved with the Alliance and the Justice Resource Center. And
okay,
it was primarily Lewis Coleman, myself, and the Justice Resource Center that spearheaded the possibility of West Louisville becoming a second class, third class city. Well,
okay,
make a long story short, how we got to it was there was so much police abuse during that time.
mm-hmm.
We felt that we needed a police department that only policed the West End and had better rapport with the
With the community,
community.
right,
And the
right.
only way that
Okay.
we could do that was to incorporate and become a second class or third class city, like Shively or St. Matthews or
J Town.
Audubon. Audubon, the city of Audubon is the size of Shawnee Park. They've got a mayor and their own police department.
Oh,
But
wow. Okay.
anyway, and then okay, that didn't work. Then there was the gentrification of metro government, the
Okay.
merger, which
Okay.
I fought that because I fought it for the same reason why Daryl Owens fought it. Daryl fought the good fight. I mean, I got to give it to Daryl. He fought, he fought tooth and nail against the merger, and everything that he said was going to happen happened. We
Happen.
lost a
Okay.
lot of power. We lost control of our community.
Move your phone over to your face a little more.
Okay, how's that?
Okay, move it down, I guess.
Okay, how's that?
Move it again. There you go. That's better. I see
O-
your whole face. Okay, go on.
Okay. Um,
You're talking about Daryl Owens' fight. Tell me about the fight.
okay. He fought against the merger because he knew black people were going to lose political power.
Okay.
We had what 12 members on the board of aldermen. I think maybe 4 5 were black, so we had a good political bloc. We don't have that
Okay.
same political bloc. People who represent the urban area versus those that live in the rural or suburban area. There's two different lifestyles, two different management approaches, and
Mhm.
the people in the outer Louisville, they just don't see things the way we see things. We need to manage, we need a different type of management in the urban areas. We need people who are more urban sensitive. We
Right.
lost that with the merger. That's the
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
So
You know, I noticed that when the mayor came back after he'd had this session with the setting up the civil review board, that he came back with 7 to 8 things about what the city was going to do for the West, basically, or well, it seemed to be geared
it's,
towards the West.
my whole problem with that is what the city is going to do for the West. My problem with that whole approach is what is the West going to do for the West?
Well,
Why don't
hold up.
metro
This is what I
government?
wanted to say to you. I don't think it's what the city's going to do for the West. I don't think the city could tell the West what they need. I mean, because we
They
haven't gotten it
they
in all this time.
could. I
The
mean,
West needs
they
to be able to
could.
tell the
They've
city.
all been. They've
Wait
been
a
to the
minute, hold
school
up.
of
We can't talk
business.
at the same time. We can't talk at the same time. What the West needs to do is tell the city what we need, and then we can go from there. But I think it's going the wrong way. You got me?
It is, but we can reverse it. And
Okay.
Breonna Taylor has given us the political impotence and the political juice to change it.
Okay. I believe that. I believe
She
it
has
can be.
motivated to people for people to be more critical about what their government is doing and how they are doing it.
Right. You know, I think we need to lay out the plan of what it is that we see that we need in our community and give that to the city and let them base what they foresee, whatever they got
Well, but
from the Civil Review Board.
that's what a West Louisville Community Council should do and could do.
Okay.
A strong neighborhood association could do the same thing.
Right.
A city
Well, so
council
all
is
of
even
our
better.
associations have to come together then, because we've got the Chickasaw, and then we've got um, mm, what was the community called where I live? Over I forgot the name of it. The
Westbrook.
community, the community association that Miss Lackey's over. Oh, it's got its own name.
I'm not familiar, but I know there's several neighborhood associations.
Okay.
Part of the
Okay.
problem is most of the neighborhood associations on the west side are not organized enough to be politically effective as compared to, say, a neighborhood association in Old Louisville, which are
Hmm.
highly effective, and they actually they actually have a lot of influence over their council people. They can set an agenda
They can
for
set the
metro
agenda.
government.
There you go. You know,
We're
being
just
able
not
to
doing
set
it.
the agenda.
That's all I
Yeah.
could say. We're just not doing it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's one of the solutions. Maybe that's one of the things that the West. I can't believe I can't remember the name of the
Well,
association
but that was the objective of creating
of the
the
Civil Review.
incorporate the city of West Louisville, so we have a political voice in West Louisville that would equal the political voice of Shively, St. Matthews, Audubon, etc.
Right.
So
Well,
whatever happened to no taxation without equal representation? Obviously, we're not being equally represented.
no,
But
no.
that was part of the deal with the merger. So
Oh,
how we
so
went for that,
they sliced us up.
Daryl warned us. Daryl told us everything that was going to happen, and it happened. And we
Wow.
sit back and let it happen.
Wow. So you still do work for the Louisville Defender. A lot of your work is still in the Louisville Defender.
Yeah, yeah. I basically I submit stuff, and when something happens, they need it, they publish it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just
You know,
want to.
I did several layouts of the campsite and activities there, and you know, as a freelancer, you try to cover the story, and sometimes you don't know what's going to unfold, and
Right.
sometimes your stuff, you know, it gets in the pipeline, and then something happens, and then 3 months later, there's your picture published.
Okay.
I went to photograph today. I went to photograph Ja'Cory Arthur. I
Right.
think he's going to be a historical figure.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, he gets high marks from you. I can't wait to talk to him.
I look at him as an up and coming political leader in the black community, just like Devon Hope.
Yeah.
Devon Hope, I couldn't believe it. Devon Hope bought the corner of 28th and Broadway.
Yeah. Isn't that something for goodwill?
That's power. That's change. That's real change.
Yeah. That is change. That's definitely change. You know, I look for, you know, what was that? The old Fall City Brewing Company? Years ago, that's what that was. That piece of
Correct.
land.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know, so it's been there almost like that since I've been on this earth, or since I lived in the West at least.
But
Since I grew up in the West
there's a
End.
gold mine in the West.
Always has been. You
Yeah,
remember
but
in the mid 60s when I guess you'd say the white flight happened to the suburbs, but the black flight happened to the West. You know, you remember what that community looked like, what I
I
used
can
to think Cecil
remember.
Avenue was the
I can remember moving to 39th Street, and most of 39th Street was white.
white. Yeah, yeah. I think we had a few people. I was on Cecil and Garland, right on that corner of Cecil and Garland.
Now
And
that
the rest
stretch
of
of
the
39th Street, all black.
oh yeah, everything's all black. You know, but a lot of the people that used to own those homes have passed on or passed them down. And we've got a real estate thing where property owners are
Gentrification.
not
That gentrification. They're getting ready to rob all the assets that belong to
right,
the descendants of Little Africa. They're going to put it on the stock market. They're going to raise the property values, and they're going to run poor working black people out of their own community.
right.
That's the
That's
game plan.
that's gentrification. You know,
Well, I think
in
we need to fight it, and I think we need to change the rules of the game.
yeah.
It's
Well,
one thing if you're going to move into the house and live there. It's another thing if you're a real estate speculator and the only thing you're doing is raising the cost of living up in my neighborhood.
right.
Go do it in the Highlands.
Mm-hmm. They said do it somewhere else. Well,
Exactly.
Eddie, I appreciate this conversation that I'm having with you, and I'm so glad that you were able to. Uh,
Anytime,
hey,
anytime. I
look,
love to be with you.
I know you've got
And
plenty.
I
We've
really
got
appreciate the
plenty to talk about.
opportunity to discuss these issues.
Yeah, because I saw you on another interview. I can't remember what it was, but I knew you were very outspoken. And I said, you know, I need to talk to Mr. Eddie Davis because he sure enough got something to tell this community. You know, we have
Well,
to
I mean,
think about
look what happened to 28th Street and look how long it really hasn't rebounded.
it never rebounded from the riots. Never.
Now you look at how many mayors, how many Democratic mayors we've been through, and the 28th Street corridor is still sitting there.
Right. Right. Now I know they're
What
trying to
one of
do
my
some things in the Parkland area of the 28th Street
Well, you know
corridor.
what?
The
I remember
Goodman
when I first ran for public office. One of my campaign platforms was I want to reopen the old Parkland Branch Library and turn it into a computerized library that had a satellite dish on it that could communicate with other libraries around the world.
Oh wow. So that library on the corner of 28th and Virginia's
It's been
closed?
gentrified by the city.
Oh wow. Oh Lord, you hurt my heart.
Hey, it's killing me. I mean, they killed me over the after the merger. And that was a political death. I felt like I was politically dead after the merger,
Oh
and a
wow.
lot of other black people did too.
Hmm.
We're always going to be outvoted.
Right. Well, we just have to find power in, I mean, our numbers are less, but it doesn't mean that the quality of our numbers have to be more outspoken than maybe they've been before. How about that?
Well, I still think we got some constitutional issues regarding uh, taxation and representation.
Okay. All right.
I think we should have equal representation. I don't think the black community has equal representation.
Well, we need to work on that.
You don't have to be an elected official to be a political leader.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on that note, Mr. Eddie Davis, I have to say Happy New Year's to you. Thank you for
Happy New
joining
Year's
me.
to you, yours, and your audience,
Well,
and
thank you.
all power to the people.
All power to the people. Look at this. What is that? All right. So we'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Stay masked
Take
up and
care.
stay safe. Okay?
Bless you.
All right, darling. Bye bye. All right. That was Mr. Eddie Davis, one of Louisville's premier photographers that's out documenting what's going on in our community. And he's been involved and had a front row seat to the gentrification, a front row seat to the merger, um, and some of the things that, as if what he said is that he was fighting against the merger and didn't want the merger to happen. And now the things that he was fighting against have come to fruition. You know, what they've done to our community. And he feels that, you know, we need uh, real representation in our community, and our voices in our community really have to come. We've got to speak as one voice, a powerful voice, you know, and we've got the folks to be able to do that, but we've got to find a way for us all to come together and speak in one voice. I've said that before, but I just want to say that I'm looking forward to this year. I'm prayerful, I'm hopeful, uh, of the change, you know, that we'll have a new administration that won't necessarily suck all the air, all the oxygen out of the air. I'm looking forward to that really on a daily basis, because I think we've all been kind of holding our breath, you know, not knowing what was going to happen, not just not knowing what was going to happen to the country, but first what was going to happen to our communities, our livelihoods, how they were going to be affected by the administration or the political wheels that were turning, or the corruption that was going on, and how divided as a people we have become, because there's a danger in all of that. And I just pray everyone stay safe, stay vigilant, be aware of your surroundings, um, understand that we are going through a change, like we say, you know, with the Lord, you know, we going into a storm, we're in a storm, or coming out of a storm, and we are maybe doing all three at one time, because we think we are coming out of a storm from the last administration, but we are going into a new storm, getting prepared for this new storm of racial division, and our safety and our well-being, I believe, is at hand, you know, is in jeopardy. You know, we have to be very vigilant. Everyone has to be vigilant about protecting themselves, protecting your children, making your children aware of what's going on. They are not too young to learn about just about anything. So that's my, not a New Year's resolution, but it's my New Year um, feeling or advice for the new year. that we need to be vigilant about being careful and aware of our surroundings and where we are, because people are going to act up and act ugly. And I want you to be here to listen to these conversations that we have about maybe trying to find some solutions to making our city, our neighborhoods, a better place for us to live. And on that note, it's dinner time and somebody's having dinner. And next week, not next week, but Wednesday, come back and see who's coming to dinner. So guess who's coming to dinner? I'll be here. You be here. Take care. Good night.